Bust out the brooms and all rise. My New York Yankees completed a 2-game Subway Series sweep against the Mets last night, and it was all sorts of awesome. You want to talk about putting a charge into one? My guy Aaron Judge hit an absolute bomb. Back-to-back games with a home run, and the Yankees needed that more than ever. Look at the home runs, look at the RBI, look at the slugging percentage. MVP. Season for the ages. Aaron Judge is going to hit 62 home runs. That's going to be a Yankee record, move past Roger Maris, 61 and 61. That's going to be an American League record. And the Yankees, behind Aaron Judge, all of a sudden, over the last 3 games, are playing really fundamentally sound baseball. Andrew Benintendi has been a breath of fresh air for the Yankees. 2-2 game, very intense game last night. Well pitched, a lot of great plays, a lot of double plays, the stolen bases, bunts, and then it was a 2-2 game, and then Benintendi got it done, Judge got it done. This was what we saw from the Yankees April, May, June, before the slide in July. I was really impressed with Frankie Montas last night. You know, this was a earn the pinstripes kind of moment. Look, Brian Cashman made the trade for Montas, and when he didn't get Luis Castillo, made the trade for Benintendi. I defended Cashman at the trade deadline. Obviously, the Yankees have been deplorable in the month of August. So the fact that they have a 3-game winning streak feels like a big deal. Remember, they had lost 6 straight series before this series win against the blood rivals in the Subway Series against the Mets. They beat an all-star, Alex Manoah from the Blue Jays on Sunday, Max Scherzer on Monday. And I was at Yankee Stadium last night. The ambiance was incredible. That felt like a big deal. Yankees have an off day today. They start a series with the lowly A's on Thursday. Giancarlo Stanton is coming back. Look, I'm not ready to say the Yankees are winning the American League. I think it's Houston. I'm not ready to say the Yankees are back, but I am ready to say that Aaron Judge is having one of the all-time great Yankee seasons, and this felt like the worm finally turned in a good way for the New York Yankees. Derek Carr is tuning out all the noise surrounding the Raiders and Dana White and Tom Brady, as he should. And I'm telling you right here, right now, Derek Carr is going to have the best season of his life this season. And I feel terrible for Derek, who had to deal with relocation, going from Oakland to Vegas, Antonio Brown torpedoing a season, everything that happened with Henry Ruggs, John Gruden, mismanagement, bad trades, bad draft picks, and the fact that Derek Carr has been great dealing with all those issues and obstacles in the 8 seasons that he's been the Raiders quarterback, I mean, I feel terrible for him. You look at Derek Carr this year, Davante Adams joining the team, his best friend from Fresno State, it's kind of everything. I think that Adams and Derek Carr, they're going to have a monster season. Then you look at Renfro and Waller, and I still value Josh Jacobs. I think that Raiders fans who are looking back at the Dana White story in 2020 and Tom Brady, they're not paying attention. Look, the whole thing was torpedoed because John Gruden's ego is massive. He didn't want Tom Brady to have more power than he would in Las Vegas. That's why that didn't happen. It wasn't because of Derek Carr. I like Derek Carr more than John Gruden. But here's what I believe. Not only is Derek Carr going to have the best season of his life this year, and he's going to throw for over 5,000 yards, Derek Carr this year is going to have a better season than Tom Brady. The Raiders are going to win more games this season than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And Tom Brady knows it better than anyone that Josh McDaniels running an offense as a quarterback guru, listen, this is everything for Derek Carr. There's something off when you look at the Buccaneers. Brady, 45. 11 days away from the Bucs and training camp. All the injuries and issues up front on the interior portion of the offensive line. And no one knows it, as I mentioned, better than Brady. The genius of McDaniels bringing it together. So this really will be the ultimate quiets the conversation tour for Derek Carr this year. You know I voted for him years ago for MVP. I've always said my guy Derek Carr doesn't get the respect from everybody nationally, the pundits, the Twitter tough guys, the media lead, internally in Vegas forever when you look at John Gruden. I think McDaniels and Davante Adams are going to help Carr. Carr's going to help them. Derek Carr is going to throw for more yards than Brady, win more games than Brady, and I can't wait for Derek Carr to shut up all the critics and the haters, including Dana White, in 2022. There's only one Aaron Rodgers. He's on a different level. That right there is not Patrick Mahomes slander. That is the truth. And listen, we've said this on Time to Shine on a night in, night out basis since we launched the show in August of 2015. Aaron Rodgers is the most talented quarterback who's ever played. Now, Tom Brady, obviously the most decorated and QB number one in NFL history, but, you know, Sammy Watkins, everything he said is right. I mean, it's just different. And listen, I think that Patrick Mahomes has taken a lot of cheap shots, you know, Tua Tagovailoa comparison from Tyreek Hill. That's crazy. And Patrick Mahomes is going to go all Michael Jordan this year. I took that personally. But it's not a knock if you're being compared to Aaron Rodgers. You can compare talents, Aaron Rodgers to anybody else, to my guy Josh Allen, to Dan Marino, to Tom Brady, to Peyton Manning, to Johnny Unitas, to anybody else in the history of the game. The answer is Aaron Rodgers. So I know when it's all said and done that we will get, you know, all sorts of conversation and criticism and critique. Oh, Sammy, pipe down. Now you're with the Green Bay Packers. No, that's not how I see it at all. I think Sammy Watkins was, you know, spitting facts. I think he was absolutely saying the right things, and he's spot on in his assessment of Aaron Rodgers, who's going to have another monster season, and I think he's going to win a third straight MVP, fifth in his mesmerizing career. But Patrick Mahomes is taking a lot of shots from former teammates. You know, Tyreek Hill needs to pipe down. Tyreek Hill decided he was going to take the money, his prerogative. I mean, you know, you can make the case I'd rather have Patrick Mahomes throwing lefty than Tua Tagovailoa, who is a lefty. He's up on that comparison. But I think that at the end of the day, Patrick Mahomes is going to go all Jordan on us, and I think you're going to see a sensational season from both Rodgers and Mahomes. That's not slander. Those are simply put facts. This has been an absolute waste of a season for Fernando Tatis Jr. Obviously hasn't played an inning, the motorcycle accident, and obviously then gets popped for PEDs, 80-game suspension, completely inexplicable. He needed to have that press conference that he did yesterday in San Diego and show contrition. And you saw A.J. Preller, the general manager, sitting next to him. There was no prepared statement. It was honest. It was from the heart. Fernando Tatis Jr. is an incredible baseball player. He is a sensational, ridiculous talent. He was supposed to be healthy now, helping the Padres make the playoffs and be a dominant team and be a fun team with Juan Soto and Manny Machado. And this was a real gut punch and another example of just how immature he was. I mean, listen, I don't want to go all Justin Bieber on Fernando Tatis Jr., but it's not too late to say sorry. This season was a debacle, a disaster, and I'm so frustrated for the Padres and for every player in that clubhouse and all their great fans. This was supposed to be their time to shine. Here's hoping that that press conference was a harbinger of things to come and a learning experience, and you're going to get the best that Fernando Tatis has to offer, which starts with making much better decisions off the field and being available for the San Diego Padres. Mike Tomlin's going to play the quarterback to give him the best chance to beat the Cincinnati Bengals in week number 1. And there are a lot of jobs up for grabs, not just the quarterback, but it's obviously about the quarterback position when you look at it for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And Kenny Pickett is going to be the starting quarterback if he continues to outplay Mitch Trubisky. And, you can daydream if you're a Steelers fan on what the offense is going to look like with Kenny Pickett slinging it to Deontay Johnson and my guy George Pickens, who I'm obsessed with, and Claypool and Najee Harris catching it out of the backfield, running it. I think the Steelers have an excellent chance to surprise some people this year. I don't think there's any doubt about that. I think that they're better on offense. Roethlisberger was holding them back the last few years. I think Trubisky and Pickett are both better than Roethlisberger over the last 2 seasons. Miles Jackson to help the defense. But look, you know how much I love Kenny Pickett in the draft. And I would have drafted, I think there are a lot of teams, Carolina, Seattle, should have picked him higher in the draft. He's not a 20-year-old rookie. He was at Pittsburgh forever. He shattered all of Dan Marino's records. He's an ACC legend. I think the world of Kenny Pickett. And if he outplays Trubisky again this week and has another good week of practice, I don't want to hear about the young kid behind the offensive line. Let Kenny Pickett rock and roll. For Mike Tomlin, who all he does is win in the NFL, never had a losing season, it's only going to be about winning. My head is going to explode. Needless to say, the Seahawks quarterback competition keeps getting worse by the minute, by the day, by the practice, by the press conference. I mean, what's worse than choosing between Drew Lock and Geno Smith? Choosing both of them. Pete, for Pete's sake, come back to us, Pete. What was that? If Drew Lock's the answer, I'd love to know the question. Drew Lock is not a top 40 quarterback. Geno Smith? I mean, is he a punchline? Is the same Geno Smith who once got punched out by one of his teammates? I mean, look at these sand sack, pathetic, embarrassing numbers. You realize that Drew Lock last year averaged 131 yards per game? Geno, when he started, $175. I mean, we've had bad quarterback competitions in history, a lot of young players, but, they're at least, if they're young, right, they don't have bad numbers that were just on your screen. There's at least hope. There's no hope. There's no reason to feel good. I was in favor of trading Russell Wilson this offseason. I said trade him last offseason, and I was right. I feel so terrible for you poor people of Seattle, including the delusional ones who watched Monday's sizzling edition of Time to Shine and were angry at me because I'm so right and I'm so accurate when it comes to the Seahawks quarterback position. And Pete Carroll might play both. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and don't forget to hit the bell for more videos.